Good morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. Looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, today's support, resistance and pivot levels and the Fibonacci's. It is Wednesday, the 25th of August. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, it's a mixed start to the day. Going to need to see Bitcoin move through the pivot at 48,376 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 49,198. Bitcoin will need plenty of support from the broader market to break out from 48,500 levels and back through to 49,000 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a broad-based crypto rally, Bitcoin could target the 23.6% fib at 5473 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 5681. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 46893 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay clear of sub 46,000 levels. Second major support level 46,071 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day, so look out for a further narrowing and a possible bullish cross to support a recovery from yesterday's losses. Looking at the EMAs, 50s narrowing in on the 100 and the 200, however, so that's suggesting some further downside ahead. Look out for a bearish cross there. So keep through the early part of the day, move through the pivot at 48,376 and back through to 48,500 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, support levels will be in play. Across Ethereum against US dollar, also a mixed start. Going to need to see Ethereum move through the pivot at 3,222 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 3,310. Plenty of support from the broader market is going to be needed for Ethereum to break back through to 3,300 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and the 23.6% fib at 3,369 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ethereum target 3,400 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 3,448. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 3,083 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 3,000 levels. Second major support level sits at 2,995. Looking at MACDs, slight narrowing of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day, but no immediate signs of a bullish cross coming up, so keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, 50 is closing in on the 100 and narrowing on the 200, so look out for a possible bearish cross 50 through the 100 to pressure Ethereum further. So key would be to move through the pivot at 3,222 and back through to 3,300 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Litecoin against US dollar, also a mixed start. Going to need to see Litecoin move through the pivot and 23.6% fib, both at 178, to take a run at the first major resistance level, saying at 184. Plenty of support is going to be needed for Litecoin to move back through to 180s. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Litecoin test resistance at 190 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 195. Failure to move through the pivot and the 23.6% fib will bring the first major support level at 168 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay clear of the second major support level at 162. Looking at the MACDs, similar trend, narrowing of the bearish histograms. So look out for a possible bullish cross there. No signs of that as yet. On the EMAs, that's bearish with the 50 crossing through the 100 and narrowing on the 200, suggesting further downside ahead. So key would be to move through the pivot and the 23.6% fib back through to 180s to bring resistance levels into play. Failures to do that, support levels will be in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against US dollar, relatively positive start to the day. Going to see Ripple's XRP move through the pivot 1.1745 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 1.2274. Support is going to be needed for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 1.2s. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 1.265 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, we got the second major resistance level at 1.318 to cap any upside on the day. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 1.0840 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid the second major support level at 1.0310. The 38.2% fib at 1.0659 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, similar trend, narrowing of the bearish histograms, so look out for a possible bullish cross. On the EMAs, that's bearish, 50 pulling back from the 100 and narrowing on the 200. So any further narrowing on the 200 would put further pressure on Ripple's XRP. So key would be to move through the pivot at 1.1745 back through to 1.2 levels to bring resistance levels into play. failure to do that and support levels will come into play.